Hey everyone, Tony Janko here, Mr. Hendricks County with the Janko Realty Group. Today, we're diving into the Brownsburg real estate market with a full recap of everything that happened in 2025. Whether you're thinking about buying, selling, or just trying to make sense of where this market's headed, this update will give you the local knowledge and expert insight you need to make a smart real estate decision in 2026. In 2025, the Brownsburg School District saw 793 homes sell, up from 737 in 2024. That's an increase of about 7.6% in total sales value, a solid year of growth overall. But when you dig a little bit deeper, we start to see some important trends. Existing home sales increased from 557 to 627, a gain of about 70 homes or about 12.5%. Meanwhile, new construction actually dipped from around 180 sales in 2024 down to around 166 in 2025. So what's going on here? Some of the decline in new builds could be due to increased competition from surrounding markets, especially in nearby Avon, where new construction exploded in 2025. Builders may have shifted focus from where demand and land opportunities were stronger. Still, Brownsburg held its own with a healthy bump in resale activity, and that's a sign of strength in established neighborhoods. When you break down the market between new builds and resales, 2025 really was a year of mixed outcomes. On one hand, new construction homes slightly dipped in sales value, but average prices jumped big time. On the other hand, existing homes sold more frequently, but average sale prices actually declined, something we haven't seen in years. So let's take a look at the numbers. Existing home prices fell from around $373,000 in 2024 to around $365,549 in 2025. That's a decrease of around $7,700. Meanwhile, new construction prices rose sharply from around $403,000 to $446,000. That's an increase of over $43,000. That's a major swing. Builders clearly pushed pricing, likely due to rising materials and labor costs. And buyers, well, they stepped up, especially when the builders were offering rate buydowns, closing cost assistance, and offered premium design packages. But for resale homeowners, the takeaway is this: competition from builders was real, and it impacted pricing. Now let's talk about days on the market. Not a lot changed, but there was a different feel. One thing that didn't move much in 2025 were the days on the market. In 2024, the average home in Brownsburg took around 39 days to sell. In 2025, that number only rose slightly to around 41 days. So time on market remained fairly steady, but the buyer behavior behind that number changed. Buyers in 2025 had more options. They weren't in a rush. They compared homes more carefully and were quicker to move on from anything that felt overpriced or underwhelming, especially when new construction was a strong alternative. That meant sellers needed to be sharp on pricing, condition, and marketing, or risk sitting on market. Let's shift our focus from pricing to talk about something just as important: how the buyer's psychology shifted in Brownsburg in 2025. In the past years, especially during a fast-paced pandemic market, buyers felt urgency. They were racing to make offers, sometimes skipping inspections or waiving contingencies just to get in the house. But in 2025, that pressure eased. Thanks to lower interest rates, longer days on market, and a broader selection of homes, buyers had time to think, and they used it. They started asking, is this home worth the listing price? How does this compare to new construction? Is the layout functional for the long term? And they weren't afraid to walk away if it wasn't. This shift had a big impact on the existing home sales. It wasn't just about price, it was about value and presentation. Homes that didn't feel updated, move-in ready, or competitively priced often struggled to attract offers, even if the price tag looked reasonable. So sellers had to adjust. This meant pricing realistically from the start, making small improvements to boost overall appeal, and offering closing costs or flexibility when needed. The key lesson here today was clear. Today's buyers are careful, informed, and comparison-driven. And that's changing the way homes need to be positioned, both emotionally and financially. When you blend it all together, resale and new construction, the average home sale price in Brownsburg for 2025 was $383,058, up slightly from $380,565 in 2024. So prices overall inched up, but where that increase came from matters. Most of that growth came from new construction, while resale homes face stiff competition and pricing pressure. It's a reminder that in today's market, buyers have options, and that shifts the power dynamic. Thinking about relocating to the Indianapolis area? Well, I've got just a thing for you. My team and I have actually taken the time to create the ultimate relocation guide, which is meant to save you hours of research, and I've linked it below. From top employers to the best hospitals and a boatload of other things that you need to know before making the move. The best part is this guide is 100% free. That's right, you heard me, 100% free. Just click the link in the description below or the top pinned comments. Hope that helps. For buyers, 2025 offered more balance and flexibility than we've seen in a long time. There were lower interest rates, which made monthly payments more reasonable. Resale inventory increased, especially in Brownsburg established neighborhoods. New builds offered incentives and brand new finishes. So the big decision came down to new versus existing. If you choose new construction, you likely paid more, but you got warranties, modern layouts, and incentives that soften the blow. If you choose resale, you may have saved money, especially in neighborhoods with mature trees, bigger yards, and long-term value. Neither option was right or wrong, but understanding what fits your lifestyle and your budget was key. And that's where having a local expert makes all the difference. If you're selling in Brownsburg, especially in 26, here's what you need to know. Buyers, they're no longer in a rush. They're comparison shopping, especially against new homes that offer incentives and upgrades. That means your home has to stand out. The homes that sold well in 2025 had strong pricing from the start. They had great presentation with professional photos and video and online marketing that reached the right buyers. And the homes that didn't, they sat, reduced price, and eventually sold for a little bit less than they could have. You only get one chance to make a first impression, and in a competitive market, that impression needs to be excellent. That's why working with the right agent, or better yet, the right team, is so important. At the Janko Realty Group, my partner Tony Eads and I have helped over 800 families buy, sell, and build right here in Brownsburg and Hendricks County. We understand what it takes to position resale homes to compete against builders, help buyers compare smartly between all their options, and negotiate strategically no matter the market conditions. And with nearly 215 five-star Google reviews, we've built our reputations on results, relationships, and real local knowledge. So whether you're buying your first home in Brownsburg, selling a home you've outgrown, considering new construction, or just wanting honest answers about the market, we'd love to help. Call or text me, Tony Janko, at 317-414-9355, or visit our website at mrhendrickscounty.com. And if you found this video helpful, please like, share, and subscribe, and send it to someone that you know who's thinking about making a move to Brownsburg or anywhere in Hendricks County. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.